Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So, some interesting things happening at the moment. We've got, from a daily perspective, we had a pretty good base forming, and then we had a solid move up, and we closed not on our high, but we closed fairly close to our high, and it is actually a rejection of the 155 at the moment. So the high of yesterday is clearly a level, and if you paying attention, you'll see that that is the middle of the range as well. So at the moment, the DAX futures, let me just get my charts up. So the DAX futures at the moment is running at 15,137, down 1.5% basically. 15,137. So we closed at 15,457, and we are down at the bottom of the range at the moment. If we start moving through the time frames, you'll see some bit of structure forming. Triangle broke to the upside, and remember what I always say, almost always comes back to test the apex of the triangle. So if you draw a line like that, you can see that bar there actually came back to test, but there will be another retest of the apex of the triangle, and the apex is right here, fairly close to 1500. So that's what is pretty much going to happen as far as I'm concerned, and it'll happen early. Oscillators in 3 hour indicating we should be looking for a move to the downside. So I didn't quite get the retest of the breakout that we would have been looking for, but nevertheless, that is pretty much a how do I put it? The structure that is forming on the long term is a pretty solid range, but the structure that's forming on the lower time frames from the 3 hour down at the moment is indicating that we're more than likely looking to reject this area for a move to the downside. So this 15,572, which is also it's the 8 hour, sorry, it's a daily and the 1 hour 155 EMA, fairly solid level that we need to pay attention to. Does look like we rejected. We had a bit of a gap. That's probably more than likely irrelevant at the moment. We've got a gap down, and we're kind of probably going to take out all the gains of yesterday. This zone that we've got here is definitely the area we need to pay attention to. So what you'll probably find is gap down, find some support down here at 14,988, come back and test whatever structure, and then a potential continuation to the downside. I don't think I'm willing to take that bet at the moment. For the shorts on the DAX, specifically on longer term scenario, I'm looking for a clear break of 14,838. So that would be a clear break of this range, and that would indicate a fairly decent move, because then you're looking at 1,400 points moves to the downside, so 10%, another 10% correction. So that would be a 20% correction in total. That's kind of the view that I've got at the moment, but until we start breaking through the structure, I think I'll just sit patiently and wait for better structure. So yeah, definitely coming back to the bottom of the range. The question is whether we're going to find support here or whether we're going to give way. If we do give way, it is going to be violent, because you can see how much structure we've got here on the weekly charts. So next possible level of support is going to be 14,151, and you'll probably just drop below that, because then you've got a gap a bit lower as well. You've got a couple of gaps actually. So there's one, and those are weekly gaps. Remember what we say about weekly gaps, and there's another weekly gap. So there's one, there's a little one here, there's two, there's three, there's four weekly gaps to the downside, and let's not even worry about the bigger gaps down here as well. So yeah, I think you need to be pretty cautious here. Don't try and jump in short, because that is going to burn you. But if you start breaking below 14,838, definitely start looking for shorts on this market, and looking for a nice decent move down to 14,152 and a 13,793 area, and possibly even 13,400. So yeah, I think pay attention to your 15-minute chart today. It is going to be volatile. Probably going to be if you do come up and test this structure here, and this structure here is right there, so gap down, come back, reject this area here at 15,269. That gives you, that's a 200 odd point risk, so your stop loss is around 200 points, and you're looking at 260 points gain. I would just move my stop to entry, anticipate a move down to 400, then just lock in some profit and then see if we're going to break through this, because if we break through this, it probably offers the best opportunity at the moment. S&P is just too volatile and the risk is too high for me on whatever structure we're seeing. So this is where we need to focus today, and that's exactly what we will do. Anyway, rambling too much. I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Hope it helps. Cheers for now.